This is the Sattler Files.
Devrite Homes, when you're looking for attention to detail and a uniquely designed home to suit all your needs. At Devrite Homes, we only build a limited number of homes per year, so we can truly focus on what you want out of a prestige home builder. We've continually won awards for excellence, with a record number of wins last year and the proud winner of the Australian Townhouse Villa of the Year. While we love building homes to suit each client, we pride ourselves on designing homes that take into account the special safety needs of some of our clients. If you have a dream, we can make it come true. Talk to Jay Mangano and find out more about Devrite Homes at www.devrite.com.au.
This is the Sattler Files.
Welcome back to the Sattler Files, and we're talking bricks and mortar with Jay Mangano from Devrite Homes of Distinction. Hello, Jay.
How are you today?
Oh, good.
Trish?
It's wet out there, though.
It is very wet, so
It's why they call it winter.
Yeah, builders don't really like wet weather because
What happens do you have to factor in time, when you're building in winter? Do you have a sort of a clause or some?
you do. You can put in extensions of time because of wet weather, but most of the time you would take that into account when you're doing your contract. Well, we're going to have so many days of wet weather, they can't get around it. So it's you don't. But yeah, under the contract you can put in for an extension of time.
Yeah. So this winter's been a really wet winter. How's that affected some of your projects?
We haven't been held up very much at all, but the last few weeks it's been a bit harder.
Yeah.
And depends what you're doing on site too, whether it affects you too much, because if you're inside it doesn't affect you. If you're plastering, then you're in big trouble.
Really?
Because you can't do it. Texture coating, it's got to be dry for a couple of days after you texture coat. Yep. Because otherwise it just washes off the wall. So yeah, there's stages in the build we're putting a roof on Ocean Reef, on the ocean in Ocean Reef. So that one is a bit hard.
That's a bit tricky.
They just can't be up there. It's just too dangerous. The wind and all of that is just, no. So that one's a bit slower. But
now, I guess, the weather is relatively unpredictable, but there would be techniques, of course, as well for long-range, sort of forecasts and that sort of stuff. Because we want to talk about technology, because nowadays technology can do anything really, can't it?
It can, yes. Yeah. And it's changed. Even the cloud, just going on the cloud computing is just, it makes life so much easier.
Now tell me about that. I know what the cloud is, but
well, we have our server in town. We're on the cloud all the time. We work on a server in town.
Yep.
So we can log on to that server from anywhere in the world. At home, you can log on. You've got the same documents, same access, same everything at home as we do at work. The downside is you can work all night if you want to.
And during the holidays and from anywhere in the world, yes. So
it is, but it's so much easier because before you used to have work and home, and so if someone rang at night time, you didn't have any documents or any of those things, but you do now. You just have access to everything.
And I guess also that means, when you're working with a client or with builders or any of, subcontractors and whatever, you can be across things as they're happening. It's a much closer relationship, isn't it?
It is. And everything is so much easier now, even mail. You used to have to post mail, it cost a lot and all those things. I never write a check now, never ever. Posting letters, never post them.
No.
They're just emailed. It's so much easier. It's there.
So were you reluctant to embrace technology, or are you one of those people that's like, just got to jump on that horse and go with it?
Some things. I mean, Ron still doesn't read text messages, but some things. We went with most of it. The cloud computing was the big unknown. When we went with that, we thought, I don't know, no one else is doing it. Why would we do it? But in hindsight, it is so much better.
Now, what about for people when they're designing homes and when they're trying to imagine what they're trying to build? The technology for that is so much better now to interpret that, isn't it?
The programs that they use get better and better all the time. They just they just keep improving them. So, yeah, and then they have the 3Ds. You can have walk through 3Ds and all those things that make it so much easier for those people that can't see what it's going to look like from a plan. They can have a picture of it and a walk through. But it all costs, obviously.
Yeah.
So the more you have to show you what it looks like, is the more it's going to cost. But
so do you have, is that your responsibility that you go, look, I've got all this stuff that, I can show you how this works? Or is that a client comes to you and says, can we use this program to do the design? How does that work?
The designers have their programs they work with. Some of them you can click a button and it'll come up with a 3D, but they're not, they are 3D, but not as good as what a program that makes 3Ds are. So,
right.
But if you've got to get a 3D done, they do cost.
Yeah.
I think front elevation's about $550. So if you want to do it all, a lot of it comes from overseas as well.
Yeah. So how do you choose what technology you'll take on board and what's useful to you, and how have you worked that into your business?
Well, yeah, salesmen.
Right.
They want to tell you everything, so you just got to try and weed it out and work out it's got to improve your business to be bothered.
Yep.
And it's all comes at a cost, so you've got to make sure you're going to get some value out of it. But yeah, the plans, it just depends on which program the designer that you're using uses. There's a few of them out there. There's ArchiCAD and AutoCAD and those. So, yeah, they all have one program or another, but they don't mix either. So you can't just open one in another drawing.
Yeah.
They will open of a fashion, but not properly.
Yeah.
So.
And were you, when you first started doing this, were you you're obviously a technically minded person because of the industry that you're in, so you can understand, those sort of abstracts. But was this a really steep learning curve for you as well?
It was, but it's all a steep learning curve even now. The technology in houses, it just keeps going and going. We're doing one in Netherlands that's got stations to get in and stations to get out.
What's that mean? What does that mean?
It's like you've got keypads and locking doors and unlocking doors and all that electronically. So the kids never have to carry a key.
Wow, really?
They can get into the house without keys. And
it's interesting, isn't it? Because that's a house in Netherlands that's at the forefront of that sort of technology. And even as you say it, I can imagine in 5 years' time, we'll all have that. All new homes will have that, even those that are sort of more of a budget home. Is that how it sort of works?
Yeah, well, they all have NBN now. They're all pre-wired for NBN. So if it comes to their area, they can hook up.
Right.
Technology costs. So a lot of older people, they just go, nah, don't want it.
Yeah.
A lot of those that have had it, so didn't use it. So what's the point?
Yes.
So it all just depends on the people and how much they want, because everything comes at a cost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are some of the best in terms of using technology from your side of things? Not what you put in a house, but to help you do your business. What are some of the best things that you've seen, or the things that you just think, it's amazing, it's made my life so much easier?
Oh, all of it. Mobile phones, PDFs.
Right.
PDFs are just so easy. When you got to draw by hand and you've got to go down and get it photocopied and you can't photocopy it because it's too big and thing. So just being able to draw plans and have them in PDF and be able to send them wherever.
Anywhere. Yeah.
So, you just send them off to everybody that's got a quote on them. It makes life so much easier.
One thing I can see, just from talking to you and about some of the other issues that you have to deal with, is that the industry is going ahead leaps and bounds, technology going ahead leaps and bounds, but you're still dealing with a lot of regulations that are really mired in the past that aren't up to date. Does that cause a bit of,
up
difficulty?
To date? What do you mean? Main Roads gave me plans that were 35 years old the other day, and I said, hang on, the Mitchell Freeway's not built yet.
See, that's ridiculous, isn't it? That with all the technology, why haven't they been able to? Why are they still dealing with plans that are 35 years old and out of?
Who knows? Who knows? I can't get anyone to answer the question as to why they would have come out of the bottom drawer.
Dust the cobwebs off, unroll the parchment.
Yeah.
Get out the fountain pen.
But what they planned to build 35 years ago wasn't what they ended up building anyhow. So they're obsolete in every way, but they still used them against me. So
wow. Because, I mean, I guess that's the other problem with if you've got technology that, and I think we've all been caught up in that, haven't we, that the technology races ahead. We go with it in terms of learning about it, but the wheels of local government regulations, they just turn like like some old sort of like a water wheel, and it's hard, isn't it, to try and
and you don't know why. It's not like they're short of staff. It's not like they're overworked. Why does it take them so long to do anything?
Yeah,
I just, the mind boggles.
The mind boggles.
It's, they have time frames of 90 days. If they give us a time frame, it's 28 days. And you think, hang on, why do you get 90 days and you still can't do it in time, mind you? But if I go one day over my 28 days, it was too bad, too sad. No?
Yeah.
There were the rules and you should have followed them.
Yeah.
And you think,
that is, I can imagine you just have to either not interact with them at all, which is impossible, or you just have to have a sense of humour, Jay, which is what you've got.
Yes, we just keep laughing. It's just not, dealing with them is so hard. It's just, they told me yesterday I didn't do anything wrong. I think, hang on, plans that are 35 years old, you can't make a value judgment on plans that are 35 years old.
Just while we're talking about that, those plans, so is that when the Mitchell Freeway was being designed and so on? So, wow, I'd like to actually see, was this a plan that got the tick? Is this the plan that we now have?
No, we didn't even get that plan. So there was two. There was one, this was in West Leederville.
Yeah.
There was one that had a flyover going down Barrington Street, and there was one that had a cul-de-sac on Barrington Street. So he chose the one that was going to cul-de-sac Barrington Street. He says, see, they're going to cul-de-sac Barrington Street. And you go...
But they didn't.
But they won't, because it's a roundabout and it's local traffic, and it's... Why would they do that? Because you got a roundabout at one end and a cul-de-sac at the other. There's nowhere to go.
Wow. And
there's houses there. I think, so how are these people going to get to their house if you do that? They might get a bit upset.
Wow. But that's they've got it, that's on the plan, so that's what it is.
Yep. Yeah.
Gee whiz, eh?
And you think, okay. That's
almost like when they reclaimed the foreshore for the... Well, that would be when they were reclaiming the foreshore. I remember when they did that.
Yeah.
That would be the same. There'd be plans in there that they can just say, no, you can't do that because, back in the day that was going to be, a freeway or whatever. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, if I was a client coming to you and I'm like, okay, I want to build, an amazing house on this particular block, can you then say, look, go and have a look at this particular program or that particular program, or come over to my computer and have a look at this. This is the sort of thing that you could be looking at. Is that what we can do now? And they can actually see that, how it would work on a block. Are we there with that sort of thing?
No, you can do it, but it takes a while to get there. You've got to draw the plan and before you can do the 3D of it and all those things.
Right.
It takes a while to get there.
Yeah.
But you can get there. And a lot of it comes from overseas. A lot of the 3D walkthroughs and things like that. To get it done overseas is so much cheaper than getting it done here.
Yeah.
And so the ones that are doing it readily are usually coming from overseas.
Yeah. And then I always like asking you this: if I was building a house now and I had to have a must-have in the house, we talked once before about the soft closing drawers, which are now everywhere, beautiful.
Yes.
So you've talked about the keyless thing. What do you think is the must-have for anyone considering building a home right now?
There's lots of must-haves. I like my ducted vacuuming.
Rightio.
I couldn't live with a vacuum cleaner anymore. And then you just plug it in the wall and you vacuum.
Yep.
People go, it gets blocked all the time. You think, mine doesn't get blocked, but I don't vacuum up water or anything that's going to make mud, and you don't vacuum up objects because obviously they will get stuck.
Yep.
But I couldn't live without mine.
What about, I've seen on some of those houses, some houses that you don't have wall plugs anymore. You have just this, I don't know, it's like a strip, and all your plugs and things go into this strip. I saw that on a show.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. I thought that was going to be the way of the future.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, you didn't have to have PowerPoints. I'm ahead of the game.
Our Sparky tells a story about this doctor that went down to Bunnings and bought a PowerPoint and put it on the wall, and it didn't work. He called the Sparky because the PowerPoint didn't work.
No way.
And you think, well, I was going to... He was a doctor.
I was going to say, I hope he's a better doctor than he is an electrician or a builder. Oh my goodness! Yeah. No, well, that's it's fascinating, isn't it? That what the technology that we have and where it's taking us.
It is, but we've got all the electrical type things. So we have strip lighting now in our kitchens instead of the downlights over the bench, and they just continually move on and update and make it better. So. It's amazing. Where are we going to be in 10 years' time?
I don't know, Jay, but I'm sure that your houses will still be up and setting the standard for where we can be.
Yes, always looking to improve.
And you'll outlive those people looking at those old plans stuck away in those musty offices. If you're listening to this, throw those plans out and get on board with technology and modern thinking. Yes. Jay Mangano from Devrite Homes of Distinction, thank you so much for chatting with us today on the Sattler Files.
Right, thanks, Trish.
This is the Sattler Files.
Devrite Homes, when you're looking for attention to detail and a uniquely designed home to suit all your needs. At Devrite Homes, we only build a limited number of homes per year, so we can truly focus on what you want out of a prestige home builder. We've continually won awards for excellence, with a record number of wins last year and the proud winner of the Australian Townhouse Villa of the Year. While we love building homes to suit each client, we pride ourselves on designing homes that take into account the special safety needs of some of our clients. If you have a dream, we can make it come true. Talk to Jay Mangano and find out more about Devrite Homes at www.devrite.com.au.
This is the Sattler Files.